Hello and welcome to another fun-filled knife adventure. Hooray! So today we're going to be taking a look at the Kubey Knives Hamster. This is one of their newer models. This is one that intrigued me. Wasn't sure I was sold on the way it looked. I thought it looked a little short, but I guess after looking at the measurements a little bit, I noticed it is a little larger than I thought at first. So let's get in here and see what it's talking about. So we have the box. Let me put this knife back to the side here. We have, of course, we're going to have the standard stuff that Kubey comes with. We have the knife itself, moist towelette, and a booklet. That is it. Well, I'm going to need that knife again, so hopefully after polishing it up, I did a mirror polish on this one. Hopefully it's still sharp enough to open this bag. I need to resharpen it. But yes, it's fine. So let's get the knife out. Let's put all this other stuff over to the side here. And let's take a look at it. I do like the patterning on it. It is very grippy. Back spacer is solid all the way around the back. Comes around a little. Clip looks like it's going to be nice. It's got plenty of room under there. The ramp is sufficient but not very large, so should stay hooked in good. The pivot looks like we got T8, 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 T8. So I like seeing T8 screws on everything. It does not have a flipper tab, which I'm a fan of, and it does have a fuller, and your finger lines up pretty good for a reverse flick right on that fuller. So there we go. There is the blade shape. A modified Tanto, compound ground Tanto with a big swoosh on the back there. It's got jimping all the way up the thumb ramp there. Jimping does feel good. It's got a nice sharpening choil. Get plenty of life out of that blade. Lockup looks like it's about 30%, about where I like it. Lock bar relief is on the outside. Lock bar insert looks good. See if there's any kind of blade play. There's absolutely zero. Total bank vault. Release feels good, and the blade drops. It's a big heavy blade, and it's definitely guillotine. There's no keeping it up. Let me see if I tighten the pivot a little bit, if that helps maintain a little bit of rigidity. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Still opens fine. Yeah, it still just wants to drop. Those bearings are too nice, I guess. I don't know that you can say bearings are too nice, but they are nice. It's action feels great on it though. Access to the lock bar is very good. I don't know if you can see that, but they did let it stick up and they chamfered it. It's very comfortable. It doesn't hurt your finger at all. Feels great actually. Very nice. Very nice. Thumb studs. You can easily flick off the thumb stud, reverse flick off the thumb stud. It's got the designer Utilizator, I believe. Utilizator, Utilizator, yeah, possibly. We will look that up when we go check it out on their website. It's got fingerprints all over it, of course. But let's get into it and get some measurements of it here, starting with the weight. So it is 5.22 ounces. It does have lots of internal milling pockets. I think you might be able to see that down in there where they've milled out the pockets on the inside there, and on that side as well. Can't really see those as good. 5.22, huh? Let's get some size measurements here. So overall length of this thing is right under 8 inches, probably 7.8 inches. Blade length is kind of wonky because of the way it's shaped, but I would call it right at 3.5, maybe 3.6 back at the scales. And then the cutting edges, you've got a little over an inch up there, another 2.5, 2.6, so maybe about 3.7 total across there, but it's right at 3.5 to that point there. Let's get some caliper measurements, see how big this blade stock is. So at the widest point, which is anywhere right above by the thumb studs here, it is 0.158, so very, very thick at the top there. It is a hollow grind here and a flat grind at the front there. Looks very slicey. Let's see what it gets down to behind the edge. My calipers, it's hard to get right behind the edge on a good hollow grind. 0.021, so that should be very good and slicey. And then the handles, let's see, at the widest point they are 0.515, so they're not too awful thick. And then with the clip, they're 0.668, so it's definitely not a super thick knife. Even though the blade, you can see how thick the blade is compared to the scales there. The blade is thicker than the scales. Action on it feels great. I think you could probably tighten that pivot as tight as you want to get it and still have great action because of the weight of that blade. Let's do a few size comparisons here. We got the obligatory standards, PM2 and the Para 3. You can see it falls neatly right in between those two. Let's see what else I got here. Here's a Spyderco Smock. Very similar in overall length to a Smock. Here is a Spyderco Manix 2. A little shorter than the Manix 2. Here is a Spyderco Shaman to show you how thick the blade is and the handles are. A little shorter than the Shaman also. Let's see, here is a Vostede Martin, just for you to get a size comparison of how giant that is. And here is a Wee Elementum, so for you guys that have some of those knives. Let's see what else I got here. Here is a Concept Tipper, just to give you a reference on how big that blade actually is. And here is a Petrified Fish Viper. So that should give you a few size comparisons to compare it to. Let's see. Let's check this. Let's check the detent out. Oh yeah, feels very good. Very nice and clicky. Great detent. Let's check out the pocket clip here. See what we think. So here is a pocket. Here is the clip. And here is said clip going into pocket. Alright, it's very stiff and tight. And these pants are not the thickest. It does go in. It's not very deep carry because of the way it's on that slant there. So that's how much of the knife will be sticking out. It does feel like it's going to stay in your pocket for sure. Yeah, it's very tight clip. I'm sure that will loosen up over time, but right now it's pretty tight. Alright, that gets that out of the way. Let's see if she came sharp. So let's start back here at the back of the blade, all the way to the front of that blade. Let's try the back of the tanto part to the front of it. Yes, very sharp all the way throughout the whole thing. Let's see if I can make that transition at the end there. Yeah, Kubey did a great job on this one, all the way from the very back to the tanto tip part. So cannot complain about that at all. It wants to just cut. That hollow grind and that, yeah, great. Very slicey. Nice. I like sharp knives. You know, they say sharp knives are safer than dull knives. So this one is pretty safe. Let's go check out their website and see what they have to say about it here. So as you can see, it's got a 14C28 in blade. I did not mention that. I should have. They're calling it a 3.46. Yeah, right at 3.5. They do offer it in 4 different varieties. The blue, the flame anode, and the black. They are all the same prices. They all have the same blade steel. Hamster by Kubey, the KU402D. Holding knife, 7.8. Like I said, 3.46. Blade width from top to bottom is probably, they probably got their stats right, but I can check that in a second. They're calling it a clip point. It is definitely not a clip point. It does have that clip point top to it, but the actual cutting edge is more of a tanto for sure. It says a flat grind when it is, the majority of it is a hollow grind, so don't ever trust what you see on these websites. Utilizator. So I happen to buy this knife from White Mountain Knives. That's where I get most all of my Kubeys. I believe that's where I got it. Yes. So let me just show you here. They're already $124.88, but when you add it to cart, and it brings it down to $99.84 for this knife. And then if you use my code Alchemy10, it takes off another $9.98 and brings it down to $89.96. So you can get this very nice sized 14C28N Kubey for less than $90. There is no tax or shipping from White Mountain Knives. So if I was going to get one, that's probably where I would order it from. And I hate not being able to recommend Kubey's site, but they're $156 here or $90 on White Mountain Knives. So which one sounds better to you? Kind of a no-brainer. Make sure to use my code though if you do use White Mountain Knives, Alchemy10, just so he knows that you saw the video here and I sent you over there. Let's check this 1.69 inches part. Yeah, from that tip up there at the very top, it's about 1 3/4. So I would call that. Now this clip point right here is not really the blade shape. I mean, you know, it's a modified weird blade, so there's no real category to fit in. Action does feel great on it though. And I'm betting the blade is heavy enough that you can probably open it without using anything, just a little wrist. Yeah, if you flick it hard enough, you can get it to open without using anything. Just a matter of getting that momentum up and stopping it. I'm sure it would drop out pretty easy this way also. But yeah, overall, I like it. It does not feel nearly as short as I thought it would. The blade feels plenty long. You can see in my hands, I have big hands and I can get a full 4-finger grip on it. You can choke up a little bit here, but be careful of that point there. But as long as you stay on the back of the frame here and choke up a little bit, it does have good jimping there. So yeah, I like it more than I thought I would. I love my Kubey knives. They have great action out of the box and seem to be very reasonably priced. So I appreciate you being here and checking out the video. You could be doing anything, but you're watching my video, and that means a lot to me. If you like talking about knives, join us every morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on my channel. I go live for a couple of hours, and there's a bunch of great guys in the chat that help out and answer questions and teach me stuff every day. And I try to pass on the little bit of knowledge I might have picked up along the way. And we just sit around, drink coffee, and have a great time talking knives. So that sounds like something you would enjoy. Please join us. We also have a Discord where we hang out, build friendships, talk, share stuff, share deals, links, thoughts, everything else. So that link is at the top of my YouTube page. It is free, and all you got to do is click the link. You don't have to download any software. You can do it right from a browser. So yeah, come join us on the Discord. And if you don't mind giving this video a thumbs up, it'll help the algorithm. If it helped you check out this knife. Other than that, I really do appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks.